Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Prostrations to Ramana, shining as the self in all beings. We begin today's satsang with a prayer by Sapna Ganesh. This will be followed by the chanting of Muktaka trayam by Sri Nandakumarji.
दक्षिणामूर्तिसारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमां रमणाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये आङ्गिकं भुवनं यस्य वाचिकं सर्ववाङ्मयम् आहार्यं चन्द्रतारादि तं नमः सात्विकं शिवम् ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय. Namo Ramana to everyone.
We can't hear you, Nandakumarji.
Namo Ramana. We will now have the chanting of Upadesa Saram by Uma and Ashwini Balaji.
Namo Ramana. Idamaham pada bhikyamannaham ahamilinake pyalaya sattaya vigrahendriya pranabhitama nahame kasat tajjadam yasat satvabhasika chitpavetara sattaya hiche chittaya yaham ईशजीवयो वेशधीविदा सत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलम् वेशहानता स्वात्मदर्शनम् ईशदर्शनम् स्वात्मरूपता आत्मसंस्थिति स्वात्मदर्शनम् आत्मनिर्द्वयात् आत्मनिष्ठता ज्ञानवर्जिता अज्ञानहीन चेत् ज्ञानमस्ति किं ज्ञातुमन्तरम् किं स्वरूपम् इत्यात्मदर्शने अव्यया भवा पूर्णचित्सुखम् बन्धमुख्यतीतं परं सुखम् विन्दति जीवस्तु दैविक अहमपेतकम् निजविभानकम् महदिदं तपो रमणवागियम् Namo Ramana.
Namo Ramana. We will now have presentations of 4 songs from Ramananjali music. The first one will be presented by Srimati V. Radha. The second song will be presented by Dr. Pratibha Sundaresh. The third one will be by Savitri Krishnan and Jaisriram Krishnan. The fourth song will be by Revathi Sankar.
Namo Ramana to all. Today I have selected a song written by Sri Sadhuvam Swami, and the Telugu translation is by J.H.P. Acharya, and the music is by Sri Pugarendi. Sharanam Maya, Sharanam Maya, Ramana Sharanam Maya, Nike Sharanam Maya. అభయం మొసగుము స్వామి నాకు అభయం మొసగుము స్వామి శ్రీరమణ శుభచరణ శరణం మయ్యా రమణ శరణం మయ్యా నీకే శరణం మయ్యా అభయం మొసగుము స్వామి నాకు అభయం మొసగుము స్వామి మృత్యుంజయ శివ బ్రహ్మానందము నీవే మృత్యుంజయ శివ బ్రహ్మానందము నీవే శరణం మయ్యా రమణ శరణం మయ్యా నీకే శరణం మయ్యా అభయం మొసగుము స్వామి నాకు అభయం మొసగుము స్వామి అరుణగిరి రమణ గురు చరణారవిందములు కరుణనే యాచింతితి అరుణగిరి రమణ గురు చరణారవిందములు కరుణనే యాచింతితి వేరెవరున్నారు వేరెవరున్నారు శరణం మయ్యా రమణ శరణం మయ్యా నీకే శరణం మయ్యా అభయం మొసగుము స్వామి నాకు అభయం మొసగుము స్వామి నాకు అభయం మొసగుము స్వామి నమో రమణ
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. We are going to be celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi on Tuesday. So I'm singing a Ganesha song. Here the composer says, we meditate by resting our eyes at the holy feet of Guru Ramana. Blessed we are to sing the song of Ramana, who is the sound, music, meter, words, and everything in between. Guru Ramana, the consciousness bliss, is none other than Arunachala hill, who has come as elephant-faced Ganesha to protect us. Another beautiful composition of Sri Sadhu Om Swami, and the music beautifully set by Sulochana Natarajan. Thank you. Guru Ramana Murti Tiruvadi Kannil Otri Chintayil Dhyanam Seivom. Guru Ramana Murti Tiruvadi Kannil Otri Chintayil Dhyanam Seivom. Guru Ramana Jnana Shiva Kundramini Karimukana Vande Aruli Kapai. Guru Ramana Jnana Shiva Kundramini Karimukana Vande Aruli Kapai. Kapagapani pagari sari gari ga ga gari ga pa 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 pagapani ni pani ri 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 sari gari ga gari sani pani sari sari ri sani pagari ga pani sa pani sari gari ga gari sani pani sari sari ri sani pagari ga pani sa pani sari gari ga gari sani pani sari sari ri sani pagari ga pani sa pani sa. Guru Ramana Murti Tiruvadi Kannil Otri Chintayil Dhyanam Seivom. Tiruvarulal Nadam Ishaipan Adiye Navil Udithu. Tiruvarulal Nadam Ishaipan Adiye Navil Udithu. Ramana Geetam Isaika Kidanda Karimukana Vande Aruli Kapai. Ramana Geetam Isaika Kidanda Karimukana Vande Aruli Kapai. Gapa gapani pagari sari ga ga gari ga pa pa gapani ni pani ri 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 sari gari ga gari sari pani sari sari ri sani pagari ga pani sa pani sari gari ga gari sani pani sari sari ri sani pagari ga pani sa pani sari gari ga gari sani pani sari sari ri sani pagari ga pani sa pani sa. Guru Ramana Murti Tiruvadi Kannil Otri Chintayil Dhyanam Seivom.
ஆணாக பெண்ணாக அலிதானாக அணுவாக மானேறு அது தானாக. ஆணாக பெண்ணாக சேனாக வனித்தாக சேர்ந்து நின்ற சின்மயமாம் வேங்கடவன் சிறியேனக்கு சேனாக வனித்தாக சேர்ந்து நின்ற சின்மயமாம் வேங்கடவன் சிறியேனக்கு காணாதமை பொருளை கடை கண்ணோக்கார் காட்டினான் கேட்பித்தான் கழலின் ஓசை காணாதமை பொருளை கடை கண்ணோக்கார் காட்டினான் கேட்பித்தான் கழலின் ஓசை மானாத மணியனை இதயத்துள்ள மறித்து கொண்டாடினான் மகிமை நின்னாலே நின்பாத நேர பெற்றேன் நேயத்தால் வேங்கடவா ஆண்டு கொண்டாய் நின்னாலே நின்பாத நேர பெற்றேன் நேயத்தால் வேங்கடவா ஆண்டு கொண்டாய் உன்னாலே ஆட்கொள்ளப்பட்ட நாயே உணர்விலே நாயினும் முன் அருள் கண்ணோக்கால் தன்னாலே சராச்சர
At the end of the song, in Savitri Akka's song, but we'll continue with the next song. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Pratibha, Dr. Pratibha Sundaresh was talking about Ganesha festival. I would like to narrate a small story and then sing this song. There was a traveler who was traveling from one place to another. At one point of time, he had to do puja worship to God and offer something to God. He didn't have anything with him. So he had a piece of jaggery which he carried as his lunch. So he thought that he will use that as God. He made a model of Ganesha and offered his worship. When the time of Naivedyam had come, he didn't have anything. So he plucked one portion of the Ganesha and offered the same to it. Likewise, whatever is happening in this world, it is only a part of the self. Everything is only the self. We may call it in different names. It may be Arunachala, it may be Ramana, it may be Ganesha. We may call him anything, we may call it anything which we relate to. So, even we are a part of the whole self. So, when only the self is present everywhere, who can say anything to anybody else? It is only the self which is talking to itself. Where will be there any directions? Where will be there anything called as day or night? Where will there be anything which we have lost or which we have gained? Where is the question of I, you, me, they, he, she? Nobody else is there other than the self. This is what is said in this song, written by Dr. Sharda. The music is by L. Krishnan. யார் எவரிடம் என்ன சொல்வது, ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில். யார் எவரிடம் என்ன சொல்வது, ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில். ரமணன் ஒருவன், ரமணன், ரமணன் ஒருவன், ரமணன், ரமணன் ஒருவன், ரமணன். யார் எவரிடம் என்ன சொல்வது, ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில். கிழக்கு எங்கே, மேற்கு எங்கே, வடக்கு எங்கே, தெற்கு எங்கே, வழியும் எங்கே, வீடு எங்கே, எங்கெங்கும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில். எங்கெங்கும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில். எங்கெங்கும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில். எங்கெங்கும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில். யார் எவரிடம் என்ன சொல்வது, ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில். காலை எதுவோ, மாலை எதுவோ, விழிப்பு எதுவோ, தூக்கம் எதுவோ, கனவும் எதுவோ, நினைவும் எதுவோ, எப்போதும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில். கணம்தோறும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில். கணம்தோறும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில். கணம்தோறும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில். யார் எவரிடம் என்ன சொல்வது, ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில். தொலைத்ததெதனை, அடைவதெதனை, பிரிந்ததெதனை, சேர்வதெதனை, தேடி நாடி அடைவதும் யாரோ, அனைத்துமாய் ரமணனே இருக்கையில். அனைத்துமாய் ரமணனே இருக்கையில். அனைத்துமாய் ரமணனே இருக்கையில். அனைத்துமாய் ரமணனே இருக்கையில். யார் எவரிடம் என்ன சொல்வது, ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில். நான் அவன் என்ற சொல் சூழலிலே அகப்படாதே பேதை மனமே. ரமணா எனும் பேரன்பு வெளியிலே, ரமணனே ரமணனாயிருக்கையில். ரமணனே ரமணனாயிருக்கையில். ரமணனே ரமணனாயிருக்கையில். ரமணனே ரமணனாயிருக்கையில். யார் எவரிடம் என்ன என்ன சொல்வது ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில் ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில் ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில். More Ramana. We will now have reading and sharing from the book Bhagavan Ramana, The Resplendent Sun, Angles of Vision by Sri Nandakumarji.
Now, Ramana, in the book reading segment of article of Bhagavan Ramana, The Resplendent Sun, Angles of edited, written, contributed and compiled by our founder president, Shri A.R. Natarajanji. This last article is entitled Mahanirvana of Shri Bhagavan, and it is authored by Professor K. Swaminathan sir, who was one of Bhagavan's English, and he was instrumental in establishing the Chennai. So let's go right into the contribution of this great devotee, Mahanirvana of Shri Bhagavan. We are meeting today under the shadow of a great calamity, the great that could have befallen us, the passing of our master, Sri Ramana Maharshi. And though it is exactly a month since it happened, we have hardly recovered yet from the shock of that blow. The poignancy of such grief. It was no small thing, no ordinary good fortune that had been given to us to move in close contact for several years with the most remarkable man that ever trod this earth in recent times. One who, though he lived in our times, was a direct liner descendant of the Vedic sages and Upanishadic seers, one who was Vedas personified, one who was an outstanding example of the type described in our scriptures as Asthita Prajna, Trigunatita, Jivan Mukta, etc. One human to all appearance, and yet one with divine by reason of that attainment of jnana which only according to Gita and all other scriptures burns out all karma and takes one beyond the sea of births and deaths into that heaven of mukti, bliss, liberation, where all is peace and blessedness, and that while one is yet in this earth. Let me read the next sentence again. It was no small thing, no hardly good fortune, that it had been given to us to move in close contact for several years with remarkable that ever trod this earth in recent times, who though he loved was that liner the sages and Upanishadic seers. One was the Vedas, who was of the type described in our scriptures, Jivan Mukta, etc. One human to all appearance, yet one with the divine by reason of that attainment of jnana, which only according to Gita and all of jnana only throws out all karma and takes one beyond the endless births and death into that one of mukti, bliss, liberation, peace and blessedness. And that even while one is yet in this earth. Now, if he was only this, a great walking monument of spiritual perfection, standing aloof and apart on the heights of jnana, inaccessible to common folks like me, who know little or nothing of the spiritual life, it might have been easier for us to bear the separation. But as you know, he was more than a great spiritual giant. He was the highest master that one could get on earth, who kept up the best traditions of gurus in this country. He was not only our teacher, but our father, mother, friend, one who loved us, whether we deserved it or not, whether we were able to make use of it or not. Among the thousands who came, his devotees, among the thousands who became his devotees, there were all sorts of and conditions of men with varying degrees of evolution on the spiritual path. All of them got whatever they needed and went satisfied that Bhagavan was looking after them. In this great crowd of his followers, there were certainly some who could establish mental or spiritual contact with him, and who, wherever they were, and whether they could obtain physical contact with him or not, were still satisfied and sure that his influence was theirs to draw upon whenever they wanted. So there were a few among the devotees who did not feel that the physical presence was a must for them to draw on Bhagavan's influence. To such, the trial that has come upon us, all in the shape of Bhagavan's physical separation from us, may not be that hard to bear. May not be hard to bear. But there was a very big class of followers to whom it was a real solace to run up to Bhagavan for physical company, and to whom mental and spiritual contact, though nonetheless important or active, be in some unaccountable way dependent on his physics. Whatever our trouble is of the body, feelings, family work, official oppressions and injustices, they are 1001 by the desire to harass people, having with them. And whenever they, and that also according to Bhagavan, just ran to Bhagavan and basked in his presence, and somehow the problem had been solved. The position fixed. I'm worried anymore. In other sides, the problem has continued, but you hardly felt its presence. Where and to whom can we run now? Where and to whom can we run up now? With which you used to be welcomed into his presence. God is that kind mood which you used to take for assurance that Bhagavan has taken cognizance. All will be well with you thereafter. With what affection would he not sometimes inquire? With what motherly solicitude would he not ask you if you had had something to eat, and if not, direct you first to the feed the inner man and then come to the hall? With what sympathy would he not inquire about any who may be ailing in your family and about whom you may have written to him already? Those who have had such experiences, and their number is legion, find the cruel separation of this Mahanirvana all too hard to bear. Though several months of relentless and memorable disease had prepared us in a way for the inevitable end, when the blow actually fell, we felt, to quote Tennyson, there is a poem by Tennyson called In Memoriam. It is a requiem to his friend who passed away at a very young age. In that, the words have been taken by Professor. Like the unhappy bark that strikes by night a craggy shell and staggers dead, she sings. The poet is referring to an old boat. Unhappy bark is an old tattered boat. That's what we are, the devotees with lot of suffering. And we feel Bhagavan is there. And then this Mahanirvana comes, and like that boat, the old boat going and hitting upon a crash, there will be in some beaches these very, very awkwardly shaped rocks, which when they eat into that boat, which is unknowingly hitting them, will create so much holes in them that the ship would start sinking and staggers blindly here before she sinks. That is the sinking feeling that we are falling into a supportless pit, is the feeling the devotee has, Swaminathan sir says in Bhagavad Mahanpurana. To borrow a phrase from the same source, we have been widowed trying my Bhagavan and our Bhagavan, etc. In the same poem, in Memoriam, the poet writes, he has been widowed by the death of his friend. Now, what it is indescribable that husband, the protector, is no more there. To many, our Bhagavan, etc., all joy and beauty has gone out of our love, of our life, along with all sense of security. We have become orphans all of a sudden. Many, Bhagavan was not merely Guru, but father and mother in one. Not merely as a polite way of expressing his regard for us, but literally, without any exaggeration. Literally, he was our father. He is. For myself, I have had the best affection from him, more than I have had from any other relatives or others in the world. I used to address him in all my letters as Ammayappa. Ammayappa is father and mother, which is a beautiful word in Tamil to convey the idea of one who combines in himself the attributes of father and mother. And I used to subscribe myself as Ramana saying, Ramana's child. And how did he react to this? Was he indifferent how I addressed him? Did he leave me to imagine that he was taking no special notice of my queer way of addressing him? If anybody came to him and sang before him any Tamil song in which the word Ammayappa occurred, he will turn around to see if I am there, and his eyes will be asking me, are you attending? Are you listening? Here is another using your name as saying, Ramana say, in 100 ways, he so endeared himself to so many of us that when we find he is no longer Tirunamala for us, to run up there and brace ourselves up, or as we used to say with Bhagavan's approval, charge our batteries afresh with his current, we feel utterly lost, immersed in gloom, literally not knowing which way to turn. In this state of mind, it occurred to me, it would be really something of a consolation, the best consolation that could be had under the circumstances, if I can come across some other devotees of Bhagavan, others whom I have come to regard as fellow members with me in Bhagavan's great family, fellow devotees who would remind me of Bhagavan, with whom I can exchange content and share experiences, whose company would be an added pleasure even for thinking of Bhagavan and worshipping him. In fact, the company of those who have equal cause for grief with you and who have been dear to you as much as them. And I'll read that again. In fact, the company of those who have equal cause for grief with you and who have been dear to you as much as for them is a great consoling factor. That is human experience. This is the urge that made me move in the direction of taking steps to start a Sadras, where Bhagavan's devotees may meet once a week or oftener and console each other in the first place, and in the next place endeavor by various means to keep alive within themselves the light that has been kindled in them by the departed master. Whether the new center or Sabha should also labor for the propagation of Bhagavan's ashram at Tiruvannamalai is frankly out of my calculation at the present. If Bhagavan desires that this small center should in the fullness of time and as it matures take upon itself in his judgment and under his guidance such ambitious tasks, by all means let such developments come. But as for me, give me at once some sabha or center, however modest and humble, where I can meet old devotees of Bhagavan, feel as if I was once again in the old atmosphere and do something in common with them by talk, reminiscent devotional song, or silent meditation, or all of this in turn, to keep alive and develop the plant of spirituality that Bhagavan has planted in me. I'll read the last sentence of this book again. Whether the new center or Sabha should also labor for the propagation of Bhagavan's ashram at Tiruvannamalai is frankly out of my calculation at present. If Bhagavan desires that this small center, in the fullness of and as it matures, take upon itself in his judgment and his guidance such ambitious tasks, by all means, let such developments come. But as for me, give me at once some sabha or center, however modest and humble, where I can meet old devotees of Bhagavan, feel as if I was once again in the old atmosphere, and do something in common with them by talk, reminiscent devotional song, or silent meditation, or all of these in turn, to keep alive and develop the plant of spirituality that Bhagavan has planted in me. Om Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya.
Namo Ramana. I don't see Dileep sir as yet. He's not yet come, uncle. Can you fill in for him?
He has asked me to continue.
Okay, uncle. Thank you. I request.
He has asked me to continue. Yeah.
I request Nandakumarji to
No, sorry.
please give us the self-enquiry session. Thank you.
As that great devotee, Professor K. Swaminathan sir says, silence is also one of the ways in which the nourish plant that Bhagavan has planted in consciousness. In all human consciousness, he has planted Tanmaya Dishay. And towards that, we have this portion of our satsang, as Professor Swaminathan has envisaged, consisting of various ways in which we remember our Bhagavan. And one such way is the Atma Vicharana. Before practice, let's read from the Upadeshams. Today, Guru Vachakapava is immediately available, so I am taking a verse at random. Stilling the mind. 913 verse number. For those whose minds stagger around in a chaotic way, everything will prove contrary. The verse is only that much. For those whose mind stagger around in a chaotic way, everything will prove contrary. There is a note by Rengaswamy. Only through quietude of mind will there be any consistency in our experience. Only through quietude of mind will there be any consistency in our experience. Conversely, there will be no peace for those who possess an ego mind that staggers around in chaos under the sway of what. They will never attain a state that is in harmony with their experience. Although in their outward turned viewpoint, they have many potential sense pleasures, all will prove contrary to their expectation. Only through quietude of mind will there be any consistency in our experience. The experience consists of various events. They come and down through the emotional. Now, where will the consistency come? I seem to be needy. So many people. I seem to be talking about so many things. From morning till evening, so many are the experiences I have. So many are the ups and downs I have. So where am I going to have consistency in all of them? Where am I going to have a connect? It is only in the bhavana, in the quietness of mind, in the peace that is there in mind, that all the experiences are evened out. A few years ago, must have been almost a decade ago, in one of our Paurnami Girivalam Kartikeya day, one of the devotees with whom I was doing the Girivalam, she asked me that in the Ashtottara, there are 108 names of Bhagwan, each having a different meaning. And my mind seems to be going in various meanings, in the direction of various meanings. When I say one Nama, one meaning comes. When I say another Nama, another meaning comes. So, not even the worldly experience. How am I going to get consistency was the question. But it was easy in Arunachala's presence, Pauli Girivalam presence. He gave the clarity to both of us where I could share that, see, it is the bhavana, it is the calmness, it is the peace with which you chant. It is the evenness of spirit. It is not the differences in the Nama. It is our love for Bhagavan that unites all those Namas. So that oneness of spirit, from where the silence is automatic. When all those different experiences are completely immersed in the oneness of our love, how easy silence is going to be? It's going to be very easy. All thoughts you have had are completely immersed in our love, in our evenness of attention. Then for whom is this thought? Take the mind to the source, to take the I thought to the source, will be very easy, harmonious mind. There is chaos left there. So the worldly difference are harmonized by word. We cannot say so and so should not have taught that. This person is totally wrong in hurting all of us. Where should the balance come? The balance comes in the Udasinayanam, in taking a seat where all these ups and downs of the emotions are of no consequence towards in front of the quietness of mind. With that quietness of mind, one is able to easily go to the source of everything. And in that source, all the sensory experiences, all the thoughts, they all merge into the Spurana, into the I, where only the self-luminous self is there. All chaos is merged in the quietness of mind. The quiet mind is absorbed in the aham. And that is what is our nature. That is what who we are. That is what everything is. And that is the practice of self-enquiry. When a thought comes, taking us towards the chaotic experiences we have had or we will have, we do not follow that and remind ourselves of the chaos. But one should diligently ask, for whom is this? The answer will always be this. Who am I? Take one to the verse of the mind. With Bhagavan's grace, let us sit in Atmocharam for the next 10 minutes. Revathi ma, will be able to set us the time? Namo Ramana.
Namo Ramana. We will now have the sharing of Anma Bodham by Sri Venkatesh Deshpande ji.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviram Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Dhyanamulam Gurur Murte, Pujamulam Gurur Padam, Mantramulam Vakyam, Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa, Mokshamulam Gurur. Namo Ramana. We're doing Manana on Atma Bodha, and last satsang we did Manana on the verse 20. I'll do a quick recap of that. The body, sense organs, mind and intellect perform the respective activities depending upon the vitality of Atman, just as men are activized in the world of the sun. The sun is the life-giving force in the entire universe. Without it, there will be no warmth at all, and consequently no life on earth. As the rays of the sun fall upon the earth, the entire flora and fauna are thrilled into activity and life. Similarly, in the presence of the Atma alone, the body, senses, mind and intellect function in their respective fields of activity. In either case, the animating principle remains pure and uncontaminated by the animation generating from it. The sun may illumine a deed of kindness or an act of cruelty, but it is unaffected by either of them. Likewise, the Atman illumines the perceptions, emotions, and thoughts, but none of these expressions, righteous or unrighteous, affect the Atman in any way. So we will do Manana on verse number 21 today by Bhagwan's grace, and request Sapna to kindly chant the verse, please.
Yes, sir. Dehendriya gunan karman yamale satchidatmani adhyasyanti avivekena gagane nilatadivat. Dehendriya gunan karman yamale satchidatmani adhyasyanti avivekena gagane nilatadivat. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sapna. Owing to non-discrimination, the qualities and activities of the body and the sense organs are superimposed on the stainless Atman, which is existence, consciousness, absolute, just as the color and the like are attributed to the sky. Atman is distinct and separate from the matter layers. It has none of the properties of the matter. However, when Atman functions through the gross and subtle bodies, it manifests as existence, knowledge, respectively. Those who lack the sense of discrimination superimpose the properties of these bodies upon the Atman, All external and internal activities, such as physical perceptions and actions, mental feelings and intellectual thoughts, belong to the gross and subtle bodies. Also, the sense of doership, kartatva, and the sense of enjoyment, bhogdatva, are related to the mind and the intellect. Deha refers to the gross body and the indriyas to the subtle body. But due to the lack of discrimination, the deluded superimpose all these qualities and actions of the gross and the subtle bodies upon the immaculate Atman. Atman is described as Amala. Mala means impurity, and Amala means non-purity. That is not impurity, that is purity. A substance is said to be pure. A substance is said to be impure when it is mixed with anything other than it. Since Atman is all-pervading, there can be nothing other than it in its infinite homogeneous nature. It is therefore said to be pure Amala. The non-discrimination superimpositions of the properties and the actions of the immaterial bodies upon the pure itself is like superimposing various attributes such as color, concavity, mistiness, dirtiness, etc. to the sky. The sky has none of these qualities, neither it is affected by such traits superimposed upon it. The intelligent understand this. Similarly, a man of discrimination realizes that Atman is pure and never contaminated by the qualities of matter associating with it. I keep giving this example of the Ganga. The Ganga is supposed to be very, very holy. And look at it. At the very where it starts from the Himalayas, it is extremely pure and then comes down. It passes over all the stones and rocks and the mud and the silt and gets, color changes. But still it is very pure. Ask Swami Shivananda, he'll tell you. It is Mata, she's mother. So mother can never be dirty at all. But look at the way it is. When the floods come in the Himalayas, what happens? You'll find dead bodies, you'll find cattle, you'll find gas cylinders, all flowing on top of the Ganga. People say, now we have to go and clean Ganga. But you ask a sadhu who comes for the Kumbh Mela or wherever they have all these melas, and they have to have bath in Hari Ki Podi in Haridwar. Everybody will say Ma Gange and jump into the water. They won't care if there's a dead body coming, if there's something else coming, nothing, because it does not get affected. Ganga remains pure. Whatever you may throw on it, on the Ganga, the purity does not change. She's as pure as she has always been. So that's an important aspect that so if you have that faith, so this verse is talking about discrimination. Viveka and Vairagya are so important in our sadhana. It's most important to be able to see the way the things they are. What is Nitya and what is Anitya? So if you are with the Nitya, then okay, you are with the truth. If you are with the Anitya, the superimpositions, if you think, oh, the Ganga is very dirty, look at it today, it's got all dirt around. I'm not going to go and have a bath in that dirty Ganga. Ganga is holy all the time. So that's the point that Bhagavan is making in this. So Viveka and Vairagya. Viveka especially is being talked about here. Discrimination. How do you discriminate? And to be able to see the way the things they are. If you do that, then you will always be with the sky. You will always be with the Atman. You will not be with the clouds. You will not be with this body, mind, intellect, which are just basically superimpositions on the real. The Atman is real. The sky is real. Gold is real. Gold may take so many forms. Gold remains as gold. So important thing in our sadhana, that's what Bhagavan is trying to tell us, is use the discrimination constantly. That switch should be always be on to be able to be with the real. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Namo Ramana.
Namo Ramana.
Thank
We'll
you.
now have the sharing of Jnana Vicharappadalam, Devikalotra Jnana Vicharappadalam by Dr. Kalarani Rengaswamy.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Arunachalamena agame ninaipavar agatte veraruppai Arunachala. Namo Ramana to all. With the abundance grace of Bhagavan, we are meditating on Devi Kalotra Jnana Vicharappadalam, very graciously given to us by Bhagavan in Tamil. In the last satsang, we saw Bhagavan saying, leave behind all the acharas relating to one's religion, caste, and like. Why? Because these karmas and acharas will push that person into trouble and bondage only. And naturally, bondages will bring sorrow alone. Even the siddhis received by doing tapas will be a hindrance for realizing the truth. In fact, Bhagavan says it is really dangerous. Once, a lady brought her son's dead body and cried, pleaded, saying to Bhagavan, Bhagavan, please give life to my son. He is my only son. I can't live without him. Bhagavan very gently refused to it and afterwards said to other devotees, if I did what she requested, then this ashram will be full of coffins only. In the process of jnana abhyasa, siddhis will come by its own accord. But Bhagavan says one should not give importance to those siddhis like anima, mahima and whatnot, because that will divert the sadhaka's attention from reaching the goal of mukti. In Ulladanarpada Anubandham also, Bhagavan says, Siddhathin Santi Yade Sittama Muktiyanir Siddhathin Seigayindri Sittiyar Chittigalir Sittinche Varengan Sitta Kalangandi Mukti Sugantoivai Muri. For the sadhaka who incline to acquire siddhi, Bhagavan says it is very difficult to attain moksha for that person. His aspiration for siddhi will make him travel in the opposite side of mukti. Because only when the mind is very calm, without any desire and bondages, one can realize shanti. Because the nature of mind is full of oscillation. At one time it thinks something and the other time it thinks something else. I'll tell you an example. Duryodhana was not very happy hearing people praising Karna about his generosity. Though Karma was Duryodhana's the thickest friend, Duryodhana started doing dana dharma daily by giving alms and feeding poor people. Now, what people said, oh, Duryodhana is doing dana dharma like Karna. Duryodhana was still not happy by these words. He wants to hear people saying Duryodhana is doing dharma more than Karna. So what happened? Indra wants to teach a lesson to Duryodhana and went to his palace disguised as a pandit and said, oh great one, I have come here to get some yachaka from you. Oh, is that so? Ask anything. Not much, O king. I am going to do a yajna and would like to get a cart full of firewood from you. Oh, that's all. You can have it now itself. No. I need them after 15 days only. Okay.
he asked the same Yashaka to Karna. He said, okay. And the Pandit said he would come after 15 days. So now Indra came after, he put an agreement with Varuna Bhagwan and asked Varuna Bhagwan to make a downpour for next 15 days. So now after 15 days, he went to Duryodhana and asked for firewood. Duryodhana said, oh God, what to do? All the firewoods are wet now. Come after 1 week's time, I'll dry them up and you can get it. But Pandit said, that is not possible, king, at all, because I have fixed the date for Megna. I will go and ask Karna. Let us see what he says. He went to Karna's palace and same was the situation. The firewood was wet. But Karna, without any hesitation, said, please wait, Pandit. You will get your cart full of firewood. And ordered to break his cart into small pieces and gave cart full of firewood. This Pandit, the disguised Indra, went through Duryodhana's palace and showed him the firewood that he got from Karna. Now Duryodhana's mind got Shanti because he accepted that Karna is Dharmavan, not only equal to him, but more than him. Now his mind is free from jealous. Likewise, when the mind withdraws from the desire, karma, jealousy, and such attitudes and comes to the rest. As in Upadesa Undiyar Bhagwan says, Uditha idathil udungi iruttal, adu kanmamum bhaktiyum undipara, adu yogamum jnanamum undipara. When the mind merges at its source, there will be no thought at all. And that is karma, bhakti, yoga and jnana, says Bhagwan. At the same time, imagine when the mind inclines towards siddhis, that will help only to grow ahankara of that person and will fail to take the sadhaka towards mukti. So Bhagwan says in this stanza, Ivayavum Bantakamam Ijjivanike. These inclination towards siddhis will create only bondages. Melum Ivai Thalda Neriyavi. These attitude to attain siddhis will take a person to a lower level. And Vyapakamam Sitturuvum Vitte a Parama Mukti Sukam. Ivaihalin Yavum Illai. Where is mukti? Bhagwan says it is all pervasive. There is no place, action, anything without its presence. The Siddha Swarupa shines in each and every one, everything, and in every action. So, above this, there is nothing in the Siddhis. There is nothing at all in the Siddhis. When one understands this, he will move in the right direction. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.
Namo Ramana.
Namo Ramana.
We'll now have the sharing of Ramana Chatvarimshat by Ujwal Jagadeesh.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. We have been meditating on the verses of Ramana Chatvarimshat written by Ganapati Muni, and these have been compiled and given to us in this format by Bhagavan Ramana himself. And these have been tuned very beautifully by Srimati Sulochana Natarajan. We were meditating on the verses 28, 29 and 30th, where Ganapati Muni says, O Ramana, Karuna is not your quality, but your very nature. Na karuna guna ramana stava vidampate ramana hridayate jasa ramana sahaja vaivate. Na karuna guna stava vidampate hridayate jasa sahaja vaivate. तव तनुर्ज्वलत्यनगविद्युत तव दृगातता लसति भास्वता कबलितं मनस्तव विभो हृदा त्वमसि सन्ततं विलसितो मुदा कबलितं मनस्तव विभो हृदा त्वमसि सन्ततं विलसितो मुदा ಕರುಣೆ ಗುಣವಲ್ಲ ರಮಣ ನಿನಗೆ ಒಡೆಯನೆ ರಮಣ ಹೃದಯದಿ ಹೊಳೆಯುವ ರಮಣ ಸಹಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪವೇ ರಮಣ ಕರುಣೆ ಗುಣವಲ್ಲ ನಿನಗೆ ಒಡೆಯನೆ ಹೃದಯದಿ ಹೊಳೆಯುವ ಸಹಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪವೇ ನಿನ್ನಮಲ ದೇಹವು ಮಿಂಚಂತೆ ಹೊಳೆವುದು ನಿನ್ನನಂತ ನೋಟವು ರವಿಯಂತೆ ಮಿರುಗುವುದು ಪ್ರಭುವೆ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಮನವ ಹೃದಯ ನುಂಗಿತು ಆನಂದದಿ ಹೊಳೆಯುತ್ತ ನೀನಿರುವೆ ಎಂದಿಗೂ ಪ್ರಭುವೆ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಮನವ ಹೃದಯ ನುಂಗಿತು ಆನಂದದಿ ಹೊಳೆಯುತ್ತ ನೀನಿರುವೆ ಎಂದಿಗೂ. Ganapati Muni says, "Oh Ramana, your mind has been swallowed up by the heart. So you are ever shining in that state of supreme eternal bliss. That bliss which is your own true nature, which is the nature of every being. In that state you are reveling ever, santata, yendigu. And what is the path to be in that state of supreme happiness?" Ganapati Muni repeats what Ramana says. The mind has to be swallowed up by the heart. Pratibha reminded us that we are going to celebrate the Vinayaka Chaturdashi, the birthday of Lord Ganesha. And we know of this story where he ate up everything. It was one day in Kubera's house, a big feast was arranged. And Kubera, with his pride that he is the richest person in the whole universe and he has the resources to feed any number of people in this universe. So he thought, with that little trace of pride, he went to Kailasa and he invited Shiva and Parvati and he requested that all his family with all his Shivaganas and all the Bhuta Pretas who are all residing in Kailasa should attend his feast and enjoy the feast. So the day of the feast came and a large quantity of tasty, delicious dishes were prepared in the place where Kubera stayed, in the palace of Kubera. And the whole palace was decorated with beautiful flower garlands, with pandal, which was decorated with the banana stem and leaves and bunches of banana hanging down and bunches of coconuts, bunches of all beautiful fruits, everything decorated, the whole place decorated with all these beautiful things. And the day of the feast came and Shiva, he wanted to teach a lesson to Kubera. So instead of going with the whole family, he called Ganesha and told, "Oh Ganapati, we have got an invite from Kubera. I think you should go to that invite and have your stomach full." So Ganapati was very, very happy that he is being sent to this feast in the place of Kubera. So Ganapati went. And when Kubera saw that only Ganapati had come, he wondered, I had called so many people from Kailasa and so much food has been arranged and has been cooked and everything will get wasted because only one person has come from Kailasa. Then He invited Ganapati and gave him a proper place to sit down. And Ganapati told, "Oh Kubera, I am very, very hungry. Please serve me the food quickly." So as soon as the orders came from Ganapati, he ordered all his sevakas to feed the food to Ganapati, and a big plate was arranged, and on that big plate the sevakas kept on serving, and Ganapati within a trice would finish everything in the plate and ask for more. Then again they used to bring more food and serve, and again he used to finish everything and again ask for more. And then this kept on happening for a long time. And then Ganapati told, "Okay, you are not able to serve me on this small plate. Bring me the whole vessel where the food has been cooked." And then he quickly finished everything which was there in every vessel that was cooked. And then everything got over. Then the sevakas told, "Whatever has been prepared has got over. Ganapati has eaten everything. There is also raw material still available, more vegetables, more fruits, more all these grains available in the store. And we will try to cook something and provide it to Ganapati." And Ganapati told, "I can't wait. I'm very, very hungry." So he went to the store and he finished up everything in the store. He finished all the rice, all the dal, all the vegetables, all the fruits which was there to be cooked. And everything was over. And still Ganapati was very, very hungry. And then in that hunger, he ate away everything, even the pandal, which was made up of the banana stem and banana bunches of bananas and all the fruits and the coconut. Everything was gulped and swallowed and consumed and digested. And still Ganapati told, "Oh Kubera, you invited so many people from the Kailasa to come and have, and you are not even able to fill my stomach. What kind of a feast is this?" said Ganapati to Kubera. And Kubera at that moment realized his mistake and realized it was my pride that I can feed everyone, which was obstructing me from my own true nature. And Ganapati, by eating everything, has also eaten up my pride. And I surrender to that Shiva. Shiva, you alone can come and save me and fill the stomach of Ganapati. And when Kubera surrendered to Shiva, Shiva and Parvati appeared, and Parvati gave Ganapati a fist full of avalakki, the beaten rice, and that was consumed by Ganapati, and his stomach was full. This is the story of how Ganapati swallowed the ego of Kubera and blessed him with the supreme bliss, the supreme jnana. Ramana has also come into our lives to show us the path to be eaten up by the heart, because Ramana is Arunachala, and Ramana himself says, "Arunachala me aham." The heart is Arunachala, and the mind has to be made ready to be eaten by the heart. How to make the mind ready? Ramana in Pancharatnam says that the mind has to be made pure amala, and that pure mind becomes ready to be consumed by the heart. Just like how we prepare the food, we make it ripe, we cook it well so that it becomes ripe and becomes perfect to be offered to the heart. One needs to make the mind pure. How is the mind impure? The mind is impure because it is always filled with thoughts. And Ramana says the mind can be made pure by questioning, for whom is this thought? And the answer is for me. It quickly answers the question, then who am I? With this question, the rising thought, which is the impurity, subsides into its own source. And when this is practiced repeatedly, the mind becomes pure and becomes apt to be swallowed by the heart. When it is swallowed by the heart, the state which remains is that supreme state of supreme bliss which Ramana revealed. I am reminded of one more story which happened in the presence of Ramana and Muruganar Swami. There was one devotee who came to Ramana's ashram into the hall, and he reported to Bhagavan Ramana that I am from this ashram, and my Guru has given us all his Shishyas, has initiated us into a mantra. And from morning till evening, we chant these mantras millions of times. And at the end of the day, our Guru has instructed us that we should offer whatever fruit of the mantra chanting we have collected. That fruit has to be surrendered to the Guru. So the Shishyas cannot take advantage or cannot take the merit of that mantra that has been chanted the whole day. The fruit has to be given to the Guru. And when Muruganar Swami entered the hall, Bhagavan with great excitement told, "Oh Muruganar, you should listen to what this disciple says. In this ashram, the Guru says that they have to chant the mantra that they have been initiated, and at the end of the day, they have to surrender all the phalam, all the fruit that they have gained to the Guru." And Muruganar Swami laughed and told, "Okay, that Guru is much more better, because here is the Guru. That Guru is giving the capital to the Shishyas and only taking the interest, the fruit of the mantra, that is the interest alone has to be surrendered to the Guru. But here in this ashram, in the presence of Ramana, the Guru who is sitting here, he swallows up the capital itself. Then when the capital itself is swallowed, where is the interest and what is to be surrendered to the Guru?" And he laughed, they all laughed and had a great time listening to Muruganar Swami's this comparison. So Ramana is the one who it is when in the September month's calendar from Ramana's ashram, we have, it writes that karma binds one who has a sense of separateness and doership. The karma, the fruits of an action, is only binds only those who feel separated from that divine self and who owns doership, that I am doing this. But when the doer, that separateness has been swallowed up by that supreme power which is there within, then there is no karma to be done and there is no consequences which has to be dealt with. There is only supreme bliss. So Ramana has come to our lives to show us the path, to be eaten up by the heart, and he is the support who is there all the time to guide us to the heart and to help us to be swallowed up by the heart. In the next verses which is going to come, Ganapati Muni says, "Oh Ramana, you are the cook who has come to cook our mind, our egos, to a very, very beautiful and tasty dish and to be offered to Lord Shiva himself. You are the cook," says Ganapati Muni in the next verse. So Ramana is that cook who has come into our lives to make us ripe and rightly baked so that we can be offered to that Supreme who shines in our heart. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.
Namo Ramana. We will now have the chanting of Aksharamanamalai by Srimati V. Radha.
Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. வீடு விட்டீர் துள விடுப்புக்கு பயவுன் வீடு காட்டினை அருளருணாச்சலாம். வெளிவிட்டெனுன் செயல் வெறுத்திடதுன் அருள் வெளிவிட்டென்னை காருணாச்சலாம். வேதாந்தத்தே வேரற விளங்கும் வேத பொருளருளருணாச்சலாம். வைதலை வாழ்த்தா வைத்தருள் குடியா வைத்தென்னை விடாதருள் அருணாச்சலாம். அம்புவில் ஆலிப்போல் அன்புரு உன்னில் என்னை அன்பார் கரைத்தருள் அருணாச்சலாம். அருணை என்றென்னையான் அருள் கண்ணிப்பட்டேன் உன் அருள் வல்லை தப்புமோ அருணாச்சலாம். சிந்தித்தருள் பட சிலந்தி போல் கட்டி சிறையீட்டுண்டென்னை அருணாச்சலாம். அன்போடு நாமம் கேள் அன்பர்த்தம் அன்பரு கண்பனாயிட அருள் அருணாச்சலாம். என் போலும் தீனரை இன்புற காத்து நீ என்னாலும் வாழ்ந்தருள் அருணாச்சலாம். என் குரு கண்பர்த்தம் என் சொற்கள் செவியும் என் பொன்மொழி கொள அருள் அருணாச்சலாம். பொறுமயம் பூதர புன் சொல்லை நன் சொல்ல பொறுத்தருள் இஷ்டம் பின் அருணாச்சலாம். மாலை அளித்தருணாச்சல ரமண என் மாலை அணிந்தருள் அருணாச்சலாம். மாலை அளித்தருணாச்சல ரமண என் மாலை அணிந்தருள் அருணாச்சலாம். அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ 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 அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சலம் வாழி அன்பர்களும் வாழி. அக்ஷரமணமாலை வாழி. நமோ ரமண.
Namo Ramana. We will conclude today's satsang with the Ashtottara puja to Bhagavan. The puja will happen at Sri Dileep Simha's altar. The Ashtottaram will be chanted by Vaibhavji and Prarthana and Uma and Ashwini. We will conclude the Aarti with the Aarti. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.
नमो रमण. भारद्वाज विश्वनाथ विरचितं श्री रमणाष्टोत्तर शतनामावलिः अपार सच्चित् सुखवारिराशे यस्योर्विमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि. ॐ महासेन महोंशेन जाताय नमः. ॐ श्रीरमणाय नमः. ॐ गुरवे नमः. ॐ अखण्डसंविदाकाराय नमः. ॐ महौजसे नमः. ॐ कारणोद्भवाय नमः. ॐ जगद्हितावताराय नमः. ॐ श्रीभूमिनाथस्थलोस्थिताय नमः. ॐ पराशरकुलोत्तंसाय नमः. ॐ सुन्दरार्यतपःफलाय नमः. ॐ कमनीयसुचारित्राय नमः. ॐ सहायाम्बा सहायवते नमः. ॐ शोणाचलमहोलीनमानसाय नमः. ॐ स्वर्णहस्तकाय नमः. ॐ श्रीमद्द्वादशान्तमहास्थले लब्धविद्योदयाय नमः. ॐ महाशक्तिनिपातेन प्रबुद्धाय नमः. ॐ परमार्थविदे नमः. ॐ तीव्राय नमः. ॐ पितृपदान्वेषिणे नमः. ॐ इन्दुमौळिना पितृमते नमः। ॐ पितुरादेशतः शोणशैलं प्राप्ताय नमः। ॐ तपोमयाय नमः। ॐ उदासीनाय नमः। ॐ महायोगिने नमः। ॐ महोत्साहाय नमः। ॐ कुशाग्रदिये नमः। ॐ शान्तसङ्कल्पसंरम्भाय नमः। ॐ सुसन्दृशे नमः। ॐ सवित्रे नमः। ॐ स्थिराय नमः। ॐ तपक्षपितसर्वाङ्गाय नमः। ॐ फुल्लाम्बुजविलोचनाय नमः। ॐ चन्द्रिकासितहासश्रीमण्डिताननमण्डलाय नमः। ॐ जूतवाट्यां समासीनाय नमः। ॐ चूर्णिताखिलविभ्रमाय नमः। ॐ वेदवेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञाय नमः। ॐ चिन्मुद्रिणे नमः। ॐ त्रिगुणातिगाय नमः। ॐ विरूपाक्षगुहावासाय नमः। ॐ विराजदशलाकृतये नमः। ॐ उद्दीप्तनयनाय नमः। ॐ पूर्णाय नमः। ॐ रचिताचलताण्डवाय नमः। ॐ गम्भीराय नमः। ॐ परमाचार्याय नमः। ॐ सुप्रसन्नाय नमः। ॐ अभयप्रदाय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणास्यनिभाय नमः। ॐ धीराय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणाभिमुखाय नमः। ॐ स्वराजे नमः। ॐ महर्षये नमः। ॐ भगवते नमः। ॐ ईड्याय नमः।
ॐ भूमविद्याविशारदाय नमः। ॐ विमलाय नमः। ॐ दीर्घदर्शिने नमः। ॐ आप्ताय नमः। ॐ ऋजुमार्गप्रदर्शकाय नमः। ॐ समदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्यदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्याय नमः। ॐ प्रशान्ताय नमः। ॐ अमितविक्रमाय नमः। ॐ सुकुमाराय नमः। ॐ सदानन्दाय नमः। ॐ मृदुभाषिणे नमः। ॐ दयार्णवाय नमः। ॐ श्री शोणाचलहृद्भूतस्कन्दाश्रमनिकेतनाय नमः। ॐ सद्दर्शनोपदेष्ट्रे नमः। ॐ सद्भक्तवृन्दपरिवृताय नमः। ॐ गणेशमुनिभृङ्गेन सेविताङ्घ्रिसरोरुहाय नमः। ॐ गीतोपदेशसारादिग्रन्थसञ्छिन्नसंशयाय नमः। ॐ वर्णाश्रममतातीताय नमः। ॐ रसज्ञाय नमः। ॐ सौम्याय नमः। ॐ आत्मवते नमः। ॐ सर्वावलिमतस्थानाम् आराध्याय नमः। ॐ सर्वसद्गुणिने नमः। ॐ आत्मारामाय नमः। ॐ महाभागाय नमः। ॐ मातृमुक्तिविधायकाय नमः। ॐ विनताय नमः। ॐ विनुताय नमः। ॐ विप्राय नमः। ॐ मुनीन्द्राय नमः। ॐ पावकोज्ज्वलाय नमः। ॐ दर्शनादगसंहारिणे नमः। ॐ मौनेन स्वात्मबोधकाय नमः। ॐ हृच्चान्तकरसान्निध्याय नमः। ॐ स्मरणात्कन्दमोचकाय नमः। ॐ अन्तस्तिमिरचण्डांशवे नमः। ॐ संसारार्णवतारकाय नमः। ॐ शोणाद्रीशस्तुतिद्रष्टे नमः। ॐ हार्दविद्याप्रकाशकाय नमः। ॐ अविच्युतनिजप्रज्ञाय नमः। ॐ नैसर्गिकमहातपसे नमः। ॐ कमण्डलुधराय नमः। ॐ शुभ्रकौपीनवसनाय नमः। ॐ गुहाय नमः। ॐ दण्डपाणये नमः। ॐ कृपापूर्णाय नमः। ॐ भवरोगविषग्वराय नमः। ॐ स्कन्दाय नमः। ॐ देवतमाय नमः। ॐ अमर्त्याय नमः। ॐ सेनान्ये नमः। ॐ पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः।
ॐ श्रीरमण भगवते नमः। श्री अष्टोत्तर शतनाम पूजां समर्पयामि। यस्थाणोररुणाचलस्य पदयोः स्मृत्या जनिं प्राप्यत दिव्यानुग्रह सुप्रवाह विवशस्थादात्म्यभावं गतः निष्ठस्वगभीर नित्य तपसा लोकान् पुनास्येकराट् तस्मै श्रीरमणाय ते नमः इदं लोकोत्तर ज्योतिषे। नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावर्ण नमो महर्षि दर्शन सुख मंगल मुख सकल जीवहित सम्मुख ब्रह्म संगिये सदा तुष्ट सदा हृष्ट सदा शिव नंद पुष्ट परम महर्षि ब्रह्मनिष्ठ समदर्शी नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावर्ण नमो महर्षि ನಮ್ಮ ಮನವದೊಂದು ಕಾಡು ನೀನರಿತೆ ಅದರ ಜಾತಿತವನರಿತು ನೀಡುತ್ತೆಮ್ಮ ಕೊರೆಯ ತಣಿಸಲೈ ಬೇಡಲೆಂದು ಬಂದ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿ ತಣಿವೆವಯ್ಯ ಮೂಡಿಗಾರನೇ ಹಿತವ ನುಡಿದು ಪೊರೆ ನಮ್ಮನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಂಗಿಯೇ ನಮೋ 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 ರಮಣ ಸದಾಶಿವ ಪ್ರಭಾವರ್ಣ ನಮೋ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ